Have you ever found yourself silently seething when someone else gets the recognition you thought was yours? Or perhaps you felt a subtle twinge of satisfaction when others don't quite measure up. If so, you might be dealing with something far deeper than you realize, something that can sneak into our hearts unnoticed. Today, we're diving into a truth that many of us would rather avoid, the hidden pride that lies within. But don't worry, we're not here to judge. Instead, we're going to explore how to recognize and overcome it, using timeless wisdom that can transform our lives. Pride. It's one of those things we often don't see in ourselves, yet it's something we quickly identify in others. When asked if you're a proud person, it's easy to respond with a quick, confident, "No, of course not." But what if pride isn't as obvious as we think? What if it's lurking beneath the surface, influencing our thoughts, actions, and even our relationships without us realizing it? Let's start with a simple question. What is pride? Pride can be defined as the mindset that elevates oneself above others, considering them inferior or viewing oneself as inherently better. This mindset can subtly infiltrate our hearts, often disguised as confidence or self-assurance, but the difference lies in the motivation and attitude behind it. Romans 12 verse 3 gives us a powerful reminder. Do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. This passage doesn't suggest that we should undervalue ourselves or think we're worthless. No, it's about finding that delicate balance between healthy self-worth and the dangerous trap of pride. So, how do we walk this fine line? It's essential to recognize our gifts and talents, those unique abilities that make us who we are. But here's where it gets tricky. When we start believing that our gifts make us superior to others, pride begins to take root. It can happen in the subtlest of ways. Imagine you're exceptional in your field, perhaps the best, but then someone comes along with a similar gift, maybe even a little more polished, and they begin to shine. How do you react? Do you feel a pang of envy, frustration, or even anger? Do thoughts like, "This position should be mine," or "They can't possibly be better than me," cross your mind? When these feelings bubble up, it's a clear sign that pride may have been lurking all along, unnoticed. But don't worry, recognizing it is the first step toward overcoming it. Instead of waiting for pride to expose itself in these painful moments, wouldn't it be better to have a way to catch it early, before it takes hold of your heart? There is a way. It involves putting yourself in a position of deep reflection, regularly asking yourself questions that serve as a litmus test for pride. Ask yourself, do I believe I'm the best at what I do? Do I see myself as better than others? Do I look down on others, feeling they can't measure up to me? Do I get angry, upset, or envious when someone else excels in an area where I shine? Am I open to learning from others, even when I already know something about the topic? These questions aren't easy to ask, and they're even harder to answer honestly, but they're crucial in keeping pride in check. They help us to see ourselves with the sober judgment that Romans 12 verse 3 talks about, recognizing our value without elevating it above that of others. Pride isn't always loud and boastful. Often, it's quiet, creeping into our thoughts and feelings without us noticing. But by regularly reflecting on our attitudes and reactions, we can catch pride before it takes root, replacing it with humility and a genuine appreciation for the gifts in ourselves and others. One powerful way to keep pride in check is by shifting our perspective, not just on ourselves but on others. Let me share something that has been transformative for me. Personal reflection. I've found that whenever I start to feel that twinge of pride or comparison, I make it a point to focus on the uniqueness of others. Instead of seeing myself as better, I intentionally reverse the script of Romans 12 verse 3. I choose to view others as being incredibly gifted in their own right, even better than I am in their areas of expertise. Seeing others through God's eyes. When I look at someone, I remind myself that they, too, are made in God's image. They carry a spark of divine potential, a greatness that's waiting to be fully realized. By seeing others this way, I'm constantly reminded that the world isn't about me versus them. It's about all of us, each playing our part in a grander story. The humility shift. This mindset shift does something profound. It humbles me. It keeps me grounded in the truth that while I am valuable, so is everyone else around me. It's not just about recognizing my worth. It's about acknowledging the worth in others and celebrating it. When I focus on the greatness that exists in others, it helps me stay humble, grateful, and more in tune with the true spirit of unity and love that God desires for all of us. So, the next time you feel that twinge of envy or frustration, take a step back. Ask yourself those tough questions. confidence. And remember, true strength isn't in being better than others. It's in lifting others up, knowing that we're all part of a bigger picture, each with our unique role to play. You may have noticed that pride and envy often go hand in hand. If that's crossed your mind, you're absolutely right. We'll dive deeper into the topic of envy in an upcoming video, but for now, feel free to explore these other insightful videos. Thanks for watching, and if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on living a life of purpose and humility. Have a lovely day and God bless.